All right, we are officially recording right now. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is streaming live on my Facebook channel. It will be on YouTube after I'm done here. Maybe an hour later, I'm recording it so that I can get it onto YouTube. We've been building our content, and this on my YouTube channel, you hopefully will subscribe so you can get updated every time I post. But the main thing is these videos, in the event that I leave here early, you guys will be able to gain a lot of insight into what needs to be done to move the culture forward. And that's why I want to make sure that I capture it and get it onto our library on YouTube. Today is the third Saturday of the month, code BS3, Blue Saturday, third Saturday of the month. I'm your host, Cy Smith, coming to you from Georgia. This video is titled um, we're finally here or we finally made it or something like that. But the point of it is what I'm about to share with you, hopefully, will be a little bit more defining in, than the previous videos that I've done. Every day I tweak things, I listen to you, I make adjustments, and then I come back before you and present again based on my interactions with you. So we all learning and growing and moving forward. So the way I want to present it now today, I want you guys to think about six things working against us as Black people. And now I want to present six things that's going to help us remedy these six things working against us. So for some people, they take notes. Other people, they just watch the video and play it back later. So let's talk about the six things working against us. You guys heard me say it repeatedly in the past. Three things are external, three things are internal. The three external is isolation, starvation, and exploitation. The global pandemic that's happening right now, and when you have a pandemic, it's really an epidemic. But what it is, it goes across countries, so it's no longer contained; it's global, and so that's what moves it from epidemic to pandemic. So we are in a pandemic. It's happening all around the world. On the coronavirus side, Black people have a pandemic global of hatred toward our culture. And ISC, isolation, starvation, exploitation, is proof of that. Uh, in America, in the US, we have an epidemic of Black murder. And that's what National Block Club University has been focused on for 26 years, is about the epidemic of Black men not feeling like they're going to live past 21 years old. I'm one of those people a long time ago didn't think I would live to be here now doing these videos. So ISC, isolation, starvation, exploitation. Then you have that's external working against us right now as we speak. So when the global pandemic COVID is done and over, Black people still got a global pandemic dealing with the hatred of our skin and the exploitation that comes along with it, the starvation that comes along with it, and the isolation that comes along with it. So we have work to do on two fronts across multiple countries, but I'm going to talk about and focus on the US. The internal challenge we have is hurt, abuse, and bitterness. And this is the internal damage that is causing us to not come together, causing us to not be all that we can be. There's some hurt in us, there's some abuse happening to us, and there's some bitterness from the way things have gone down. And so the key to hurt, abuse, and bitterness is some things we need to be doing to be able to treat that. But one thing I want to make clear, a job doesn't fix this. So when people say we need jobs, that's a part of it, but it's not the end all be all. There are people who are hurt, abused, and bitter that work, and some of their customer service suck as a result of this contaminated box, hurt, abuse, and bitterness that's going on with them. So I want to make sure that we know jobs is not going to fix that. Education is not going to fix that hurt, abuse, and bitterness. This is going to require something different. So those are the six things working against every single Black person, whether you are aware of it or not. It's happening to you every single second, whether you see it or not, or feel it or not, because we prop up a lot of people in the world. Think about from a diamond perspective, diamonds. No Black diamond dealers in the US, despite the diamonds coming from Africa. That's an example. of what I mean by the exploitation. And so that's on the global stage, but you don't see diamond dealers in the hood all over the place where we can make money off of what is being exploited out of the continent. So I just wanted to give that as a mini example of what I mean by this exploitation. So what I'm gonna show you guys is how we're gonna fix these 6 things that's wrong. And what I'm excited about is the fact that we're ready. It's done. The last part is putting fuel in the vehicle so it can get us where we're trying to go. And I hope this video will ultimately help you to say, you know what? I agree, it is ready. Let's go. So that's what I hope will happen. So here's the 6 solutions. HSN, that is Habits Schedule Network. Habits Schedule Network. The reason I say this is the solution is because number one, when you think about ISE, you're dealing with both systemic racism and you're dealing with structural racism, the ISE. So when we think about habit schedule network, we have this 7 daily living habits, which allows us to be coordinated with no leader. Because we know when you have a leader, they execute that leader. So this allows us to be on one accord with no leader. Monday safety day, Wednesday economics day, Thursday health day. So as we get people to see what the 7 daily living habits are and they apply to their life, no leader, but we're coordinated all over where people know about this daily 7 daily living habits at. Schedule, time. Uh, if you look in our community across the U.S. and you think about the shooting and killing, we got people living in free housing, public housing, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They may not be working, so they have time, and so their schedule, because they don't have nowhere to be, can be more lethargic. Lay around all day, walk around, no urgency to anything because I don't have anything scheduled to do. Under the concept what we've built, there's time slated for everything. Everything is predictable. The beauty is you're able to say, nope, I don't feel like I'm not going to do that. And it's fine. That day repeats again. What do I mean by that? If you're a nurse, every third Wednesday of the month is Nurses Day. If you're a lawyer, every fourth Tuesday is Lawyers Day. If you're a teacher, every second Saturday is Teachers Day. See that schedule? If you want to become any of those things, those are the days that in your neighborhood, that's when they'll be getting together. So the schedule matters. If your last name begins with the alphabet V through Z, meaning if you're Williams Wilson, every June and 6 months later, December, we ask for your support. That's twice a year. They give you 10 months to not worry about us, 2 months to worry about us. Again, that's schedule. That's how we use time. This is important when we talk about black people coming together. Well, how long we gonna come together? What we gonna do when we come together? This is how we're structured to make sure that we don't burn people out. Too often we bring people together and what we're asking is not realistic, so we burn out meeting after meeting after meeting. We can't move the needle because you don't have enough people. You don't have enough people because people are busy. So this way allows us, based on your last name, to predict how many people we'll have for any operation. Again, schedule. The last one is network. You know, every time we meet a person, we ask them 2 things: what do you do, and what do you want done? When we find out what they do, I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer, judge. We can get them the schedule on when that group meets, and then if they want their roof done, we can tell them when we have the roofers once a month gathering, and then they can tap into that, or they can call them, on their own. But that's just an example that every single person we meet, because of our vast network, we're able to tap into those people that matters to that individual we're speaking about or speaking to. The network also helps with people that may be lonely. It helps with our retirees, adults, and youth. That's Ray. So that network really, really matters. And a lot of times when people, we had a person moving to New York, we was able to say, hey, here's our New York person that's also in the same profession you are. And that made that person feel more comfortable that they going to a new state and they already plugged in. So network matters. All right. Then the last three is ITR. ITR. ITR stands for information, travel, and real estate. ITR, information, travel, real estate. What this is, when you look at everything that's happening with the pandemic, both pandemics, and you hear people talk about the job loss, you hear people talking about what are people going to do, and what I want black people to know, and I'm not excluding others, but I'm concentrating on black people. What I want us to know is, despite what's happening with the economy around the world in the US, we have another problem. And this problem was here before COVID, and this problem gonna be here after COVID, unless you guys see vision and see the vision we're trying to promote, and just do your small part. We're gonna continue to see it. If we stay in our little silos doing our version of what we can do, we're not gonna be able to move this needle massively like we need to in order to see the change in black lives. So I want to go back to this main point that I want to drive home when we look at what we have to do to turn this whole thing around. So the first one is information. Information. The future looks bright for us because it's all type of information in us and going through our brains and our minds. As we speak it out, we have designed our whole America and your Chicago's 20 zip codes to make money off of information, to create jobs off of information, to put people to work off of information. Two types: what you do and what you want done. Just those two pieces of information will have us to put a lot of people to work. What do I mean by that? And that's what you're going to see on the slide coming up here. We've taken every zip code and blocks inside that zip code and gave them a job to do. So today is 60643 zip code. That is the Washington Heights area there. That's 117th and Western, that area there, 95th and Ashland, that area there. That area, we gave that area the responsibility of coordinating all things dealing with doctors and dentists for the whole Black Chicago. So any doctor or dentist anywhere in Black Chicago, that zip code is going to manage that information. All right. That zip code alone is the only citywide doctors and dentists zip code. All right, that's going to make more sense later as I keep doing the video. But I want you to know this zip code, so all the blocks inside that zip code will be working toward anything and all things dealing with doctors and dentists. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. We've done that all over urban America. In Cleveland, it's areas where all they focus on is doctors and dentists. So that means when we talk about jobs of the future, uh, our people are going to have jobs because we're going to have doctors and dentists in the future. And people say, well, what? How is information? How are you going to make money off of information? There are people who work the census, and the census they get paid to go get information. There are people who do administrative typing up information. They make money processing, data processing information. Then there's people who send information. They make money in just deploying the information. And so information is key. And for us, what we've done is we've assigned, I'm calling them repositories, to every zip code. So we give these zip codes a reason to be in charge of something for the whole city. This forces us to be interdependent instead of Chatham saying we got our own doctors, Inglewood saying we got our own doctors, and Roseland saying we got our own doctors. It's one zip code saying give us all your doctors so I can coordinate, we can coordinate them together so we can have a better medical response because they are all coordinated no matter where they physically live at. That's another benefit of the first thing, the I, which is information. T is travel. T is travel. When we talk about the hurt, abuse, and bitterness, some people need to travel, meaning get away from that abusive person. Some people need to travel, get away from that hurtful situation. You ever been in a situation where you was hurt, but you didn't want to display the hurt in front of everyone, so you waited till you got home, then you really let it out? So that's the benefit of travel. You get a chance to get away from showing your hurt with the people you love, go somewhere different. You can let it out, breathe, think differently, analyze it differently. So travel is therapeutic. Travel also boosts economy. As I was in the Navy, we would go to places, the ship would pull in with 3,000 of us, and it did wonders to their economy because we was coming, we wanted to have fun, and we had money. And so travel boosts the economy of wherever you're traveling to. And the fact that we're in 20 cities with our 20 Chicago zip codes, that's going to allow us to transfer money into these other cities and boost their local economies because of travel. Then the third one is real estate. This one here is separate from the non for profit, but the bottom line with real estate, we have no matter what, people are going to have a place to stay. And when we do this the right way, we're going to be creating small LLCs where people can be owners, members of the LLC, i.e., owners. And when those LLCs buy real estate, collectively, we can go and do bigger real estate projects and everyone make money. So, and it's an additional stream of income from people where they don't have to know about real estate. All they're doing is putting their money up and voting. So that's separate from the non-for-profit NBCU. I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of what Black life is going to look like going forward, where people are going to have ownership in real estate in Mississippi and Florida and Georgia, and then eventually in the continent of Africa. So that's the next 50 years, making sure that we have jobs, information, travel, and real estate. That's the future for Blacks, no matter what happens with the economy. These three things are going to be pillars for us to continue to keep the culture and the race going forward. Now, I'm going to add this little caveat to it. We do need to detox on CEMS, CEMS, which is chasing European models of success. Because what happens is just because you're Black and you run a business and we sacrifice and support, circulate money with you, but because you haven't detox, you're loving Europe more than Africa. So any money to you goes to support Europe, and then people in Africa is starving. Not only are they isolated, starved, and exploited, but then their own people here in the diaspora is ignoring them and sending support to the country that's exploiting them. So we got to have that conversation about our people who love all things dealing with Italy and Germany and all the cars and jewelry, all those lovers of that stuff. We got to have a conversation, because if you're taking our resources and giving it to people who can care less about this murder, this killing, the missing girls, all the woes that's happening in your neighborhood that your family is susceptible for, that's a problem. And we got to be able to have that conversation with you, because you got free will, your money, but at the same time, we don't have to choose to give resources to people who's going to let it go right out. Chinatown, Greek town, Italy, you don't have to have that conversation. They know to keep the money in the culture. It makes their culture have what it needs to become and stay vibrant. So now I'm ready to get into some stuff that you can see. So let me go to the sharing the screen here, and we're going to get busy with what I want you guys to be able to look at, and hopefully gain a different perspective as you guys see this, because I do think it's something that's going to help us better see the vision of what we've been working on, and now should be more easily um, understood. So that's my Facebook, so ignore that. That's not what we want you guys to see. This is it right here. Okay, so I need to adjust the screen. Give me a second and I will definitely do that. Okay, so what I think is best for me to do is to break down factories first, because I spoke about it a little bit, but I want to go a little bit more in depth here. So, factories is a metaphor for every single block inside our 20 Chicago zip codes is a block inside of what we call a factory. This is critical that you understand this. Every block inside our 20 zip codes sits inside a factory. All right. Now I'm about to circle. So let me go to the annotation so you can see what I'm about to circle here. All right. So right here, I want you guys to see. So when I say factory, levels 1 through 4 will help you understand what I mean. So, what is a factory? A factory, from our vantage point, is one person minimum, and there's as many people as we can get, but one person minimum. So, one person can be a factory, but depending on where that person lives, will tell us what that factory will produce. Where you live will tell us what that factory will produce. So, Tex is in front of everything. We use texting as a way of getting work done. Texting. I'm about to show you why texting matters so much. But production, that means you're making something. That can be some tangible or it could be intellectual property or capital. So producing something. All right. Then I want to circle this one. This is texting, text, shipping. Shipping is what the definition says. It's moving something, getting something from A to B, giving it to whoever the customer is. So you're going to be sending whatever is produced in this factory, you're going to be sending it to the end user. All right. Then the third function is text receiving. You're going to be getting some information. You're going to be getting some product, some raw materials, whatever the case is, you're going to be getting it in. And then you got to do what you do to it and then ship it out. So that's how the factories are designed. So I want you to think about that: production, shipping, and receiving. And one person can do it. So let me clear this out. And now I want you guys to look here. Let me go down just a tad bit first. Okay, so here we go. So now let me do the circles again here so you guys can see this. Okay, so let me get to the circle again. All right, so let's go here first. Factory level 1. What that means is one person on one block can do the whole factory. And we've had people do this for almost 7 to 8 years. They've been texting for 7 to 8 years. So one person can do it. Think about this. When we think about the shooting, the killing, the carjackings, the missing children, what we have is isolated residents. Residents don't know their neighbors no more, or they don't interact with their neighbors no more. Criminals love this. Criminals love it when you're isolated, when you don't know and talk to your neighbor in the alley behind you. You don't know that person. So if someone is out there in the garage messing with your garage, your neighbor don't know you. They can't call you and warn you. You just gotta hope they call the police so you don't walk out to your garage and get met by some people who mean you harm. This is the benefit of a factory, because inside the factories, we're making sure that all the blocks, people get to know each other. The interactions are gonna be there because of them working together using texting. So that's important, because if you try and physically get people together, that can go sideways if they don't, if they dealing with too much hurt, abuse, and bitterness themselves. So later for the physical, first get them communicating via text. Okay, so I want to show you guys this next circle here. So this is factory level 2. This is when there's one person on two different blocks working together. Now, this is better because now you know your neighbor in back of you. So you see the address here, 63rd and Fairfield is one block. And then if you go to the next block, 63rd and Washington is the next block. So in the alley, they are neighbors from an alley perspective. Them knowing each other creates a neighborhood where criminals will have a harder time because you know each other. You know each other. Criminals don't like that. They love you to be self-isolated. I mind my own business. I come and go. You're the perfect prey for a criminal. Okay. Now, this is factory level 3. When it's 3 blocks, there's one person on 3 different blocks. Now that area is even stronger because now on 3 different blocks, y'all are talking to each other, working together. And then the 4th level, which is our ideal level, is right here. One person on 4 blocks. One person on 4 blocks. Excuse me for not getting rid of those other circles. So please know the colors there: blue, green, and yellow. Blue always mean east. Always mean east. Green is in the middle always, and yellow is west. No matter where you see these colors, that know that yellow is west, green is middle, and blue is east. So now let me get rid of these circles so you can focus on the factory itself and the big picture of the factory. So this is Factory 2901. We call them villages. Factory is a better visual of what we want these blocks to produce. We want these blocks to produce something. We want them to ship something. We want them to receive something. So 2901 is specific for these blocks: 59th and Fairfield, yellow block; 59th and Tallman, blue block; 61st and Washington, green block. So as you can see, all of these are Tallmans and they all blue, meaning east side. Remember, all these in the middle is green. Remember, green middle, Washington. All these in the yellow is west, meaning yellow. For a criminal, they love it when you stay isolated and don't know each other. Just the fact that we saying this here area is, and I didn't show you guys that yet. Let me clear this out so I can show you what this area is so you can know why it's going to cause neighbors to create a safer atmosphere. This whole area is our beauty supply store factory. This is our beauty supply store factory, meaning these 12 blocks from 59th Fairfield all the way to 62nd and Tallman, they will manage all things dealing with beauty supply stores in Black Chicago. This is what this factory is designed to do. So this factory, what they're gonna do, anyone and everyone on Tallman will be responsible for all East Side Chicago beauty supply stores. That means everything from getting in touch with them to texting them to actually getting them to donate to what we do. That's what Tallman is going to do to all the east side of Chicago beauty supply stores. Then all the people living on Washington, their job is going to be to get in touch with all the beauty supply stores on the south side, not the east side, south side. So not east of the Dan Ryan Expressway, everything west of the Dan Ryan Expressway. They would get in touch with, do report cards, stay in communication with beauty supply stores. Then all the people who live on Tallman, their job is to stay in touch, work with all the west side Chicago beauty supply stores. So I want to see if you guys get this. This factory over here is saying we're gonna take 12 blocks. We're gonna make sure it's a person on every block working with us. And depending on what color block you're on, it would tell us what side of town you're gonna be doing the production, shipping, and receiving of all things dealing with beauty supply stores. That's how every single block in Black Chicago is already organized and designated to do. Already. Let me clear this out. And what I'm gonna do here, so you can keep looking at that. I wanna I wanna share this with you. The beauty with this design, this model, is because people are only texting, they are limited, invested, limitedly, if that's a word, invested, meaning we asking them to send a text out. So they really don't care either way. But the fact that they're texting and who we have them texting is a part of what we're doing, it really matters. Because with any communication, if it stops or you don't have communication, it can create doubt. It can slow the relationship enrichment up, and so staying in touch with people helps them to feel connected and valued. And that's what the production in this village does to all our Black beauty supply stores, BJ's 87th and Loomis, our sister Solo on 83rd and Cottage Grove, Tess on 55th and Ashland. So the fact that these blocks are staying in touch with them every month allows them to have an open line of communication. And then the other ones, not Black owned, we get to do report cards on them and make sure that every month we communicate to them how we feel about them giving back to our community or not. So my takeaway, that what I hope you would take away from this slide here is every single block, 1,700 blocks in Black Chicago has what I just shared with you right here, a color coding and one subject matter that they're responsible for, and they may not even know it. They may not even know it. All they know is they get this text, and the text is going to this address we've asked them to send it to. So that's how that is structured. That's how that works. So hopefully you guys can see why that matters so much. Because now I'm about to show you another slide that um, is a bigger picture for that. So this next slide right here that you're looking at, um, let me see if I can shrink this because this I want you guys to see it all. So right here, this here is a person in the middle. So let me go to annotations again so you guys can see this. So that's you. That's me. That's any person we meet, ex-offender, abused person, abuser, any person. This is them right there. And what we're saying right now, the beauty of where we are in this development of this system here, every single person will be able to help us to make the culture stronger. Because remember, every zip code has a function from technology, business, science, nursing. So it's two questions we want to ask every single person. And when we ask these two questions, it immediately puts people to work because remember, every one of our blocks is doing something at least once a month for whatever their factory is designed to do. So let's show you what this is. We ask every person what do they do. If I walk up on 63rd and Damon and I see a lady and she got these bags and I say, "What you got there?" She said, "Oh, this hair for my beauty supply store." When she tell me that, that's what do you do? That's the question. What do you do? She says she got a beauty supply store. Immediately, that information, all right, goes to our beauty supply factory, which I just shared with you, Fairfield, Washington, Tallman. It goes there and it goes to the green block because that's on the south side. If she was on the west side and she told me that, it'd go to Fairfield, the yellow block. If she was over east on State Street, it'd go to Tallman. The point is, this factory has a new person to work on because I met this person walking down the street and asked her what do she do. So do if this is big, you guys, I want to make sure you get this. Just finding out what a person does puts it a village, a factory to work. Just finding out what your husband does, what your son does, teacher. And once you get that information into us, it immediately goes and it puts a factory to work. That's powerful. That is powerful, you guys. That's just what they do. Now, this is the second question we ask every person. What do you want done? Oh my God. Who don't want 10 things done? Who don't want 20 things done? The point is, everything that they would say that they want done, there's a factory for doing it. Someone might say, I want my roof done. Okay, we got a roofing factory. Someone may say, I want my nails done. We got a nail factory. So, my point is, each of us is the solution under this new system that's been built. Took 26 years to build it. But what I'm saying is these factories are really 16 blocks, 12 block areas that we're getting the people who live there to interact with each other, to interdepend on each other, to get to know each other. Those things work against the criminals that want to break in, rob, molest, and rape you, shoot you. They don't want you knowing each other. Every time we meet a person and they tell us what they do and what they want done, it goes back to creating vibrancy on the blocks where you live at, where your grandmama live at, where your children live at. So the point is, every single person is the solution once we hear what they do and what they want done. Okay, so that's big, you guys. That's big. Let me clear this out because we recording this, so this is gonna be on Facebook too. So now I want to walk through um, what I said is the solution, HSN, if you remember, HSN. So I'm about to talk you through HSN. HSN, right there, HSN, Habits Schedule Network. All right, so Habits Schedule Network, you see it right here. Every person we meet, depending on where they are mentally, if they are ready to receive the 7 daily living habits, we will introduce that to them. But in the event that we meet a person and we talk to them and right now they don't want to hear it, that's fine. The fact that we know where they live at allows us to know what factory they live in, whether they know it or not. So that's a start. But the point is, when they're ready, then we can give them the habits. Some people are going to accept all seven. Some people won't accept all seven. They may only take the health habit, which is every Thursday health day, because they're trying to gain weight, lose weight, get rid of COVID, cancer, whatever. So they may take just one of the seven habits. But the fact is, the habits create structure and it allows us to be on the same page without someone telling you or prompting you. You know every week what the agenda is. So that's what habits gives each person. All right. And I kind of went over these already, but I do want to concentrate now on network. This same person here, we want to create an environment where that person now has an opportunity to meet new people while they're on tour. They have a chance to meet new people while they're at the summit. They have to meet new people while they're at the Gary, Indiana conventions. These are the things that's going to allow a person to build their network. And I get it. Some people don't want to know anybody, and that's fine too. Even if you're an introvert and you don't want to know anybody, the fact that you live in one of the zip codes where shooting and killing is happening at, we want to keep you alive and safe. So it makes sense for us to get to know the people on the different blocks around you, make sure that they're talking and that they are working together to make it harder for the spirits out there doing wrong to feel comfortable. And all of that boils down to you feeling like you have layers, not just one, layers of support. And then teams 1 through 8, we're not going to focus on that right now, but please know all the 108 different factories we have from technology, business, science, nursing, it falls under teams 1 through 8, which is business, is dealing with accountability team, is dealing with race relations team. So just know all of this over here on the left deals with giving you more layers and connections so that you feel like you have a Rolodex and a bunch of people you can call on to be there for you. Okay. Each person we meet, we make a quick assessment. Are they older, meaning they might be retired? Are they in their prime, meaning they just an adult? Or are they young? We look at that, retirees, adults, and youth, and we make sure that we intergenerationally connect them and make sure that they're talking and knowing each other. So that's what we do. Let me clear these out and go over here to the right side. So what I just did, what I just shared with you guys, this whole thing over here was dealing with systemic racism. Everything over here dealt with behavior. Behavior is where the systemic racism is and operates and thrives. Now, over here, what you're about to see, let me clear that out. Over here, what you're about to see all over here is dealing with structural, structural racism, structural. And the structural mean the setup, the way things were designed and set up. When white flight took place around urban America, that structurally changed neighborhoods structurally because again, you changed the configuration. You had no reason to invest no more because the whites had moved away. So what I want you guys to get on this right side is this here is the new structure for Black society. So what does that mean? That means those 16 blocks now are assigned one profession, like we've been talking about. This is the beauty supply headquarters for Chicago. That changes because inside those blocks you might have teachers, doctors, lawyers, nurses. I don't care about beauty supply. I get that. That's your individual preference. What we're saying is we have to create vibrancy. We have to create where you guys are working together. And if you care about education, your neighbor care about safety, y'all at a disagreement. We come in as a third party and we're saying, hey, we're going to work with every one of you guys. We got a factory for each one of what you guys care about. But on this date and time, we need you to do this thing together that you guys really shouldn't debate because you're not vested in it. You're just doing it to support the national agenda. So that's how we see us being able to work past some of the things that normally would keep people from working together because of us being a third party. Is less investment there on your part. So also structurally, I want you guys to look at this is block safety, block safety, and that comes from each of them blocks talking to each other, knowing each other. But here's the key word I want to concentrate on: vibrancy. Vibrancy. As I go through Chicago, I was there last week. I see desolation. I see dry bones, as they talk about in the Bible. I see blocks where no one is outside. That's a criminal's heaven. That's a criminal's heaven. And it makes it more dangerous if you walk into the bus stop and no one is nowhere to be found. It makes it easy for that robber and that rapist to attack you. And so vibrancy changes that. Not too many people, unless they terrorists, are gonna do some dirt in front of a lot of people. And so vibrancy works to keep you safer. And because you're a factory, you live in a block that's a factory, as we get the factories to become level 4 and strong, now you create vibrancy. Now, if you, the beauty supply village headquarters for Chicago, we may pick a day when all the beauty supply store owners come together and give out free coats in your village. They may come together and do something for back to school. The point is, we are, because of the way it's structured, you're going to be able to have people come over there and do positive things to create vibrancy, take away the control of the locals who think the local bad people, bad behaving people, feeling like they control the area when you got all these new faces over there. It makes them worry because they don't know what's what. So I wanted to stress that, and because it's going to be on YouTube, you can later study it as well. You heard me earlier today talk about the next 50 years. So that's what this is here. So again, the information is these two up here. So that's just finding out what people do, what they want done. When they do that, that's going to put factories to work. All right. It's going to, when they go to work, getting texting, it's going to create vibrancy. And that's the information. The travel is here. When you travel on tour, when you travel to the summit, when you travel to Gary for the conventions, that's going to treat people's hurt, abuse, and bitterness getting away. And real estate is long term. When jobs go away, people still have to live somewhere. So helping you get into real estate is going to allow you to have long term economic stability, another source of income, which is what we want to really push people toward. Okay. Now, at the bottom here, this is big. At the bottom here is why it took so long. So I left my full-time job at an accounting firm in March 1st, 2016. So I've been 4 years without working for corporate. And so the key there is I had to, because I was financing what we do to the tune of $1,000 every month. I was supporting this movement here. So that's $12,000 a year. That had to be replaced when I was no longer working. So the beauty is we've created this internal financing, our way of financing the organization ourselves without, the founder having to do it. So this was a growth step for us to be in position to where the people paying for National Block Club University to operate. So I've done it in the format of a loan, and I made sure that we use loans so that we can build a greater degree of trust. It takes more trust to loan you money than to donate money. Donate is almost a throwaway. You don't expect nothing back. Here, take this, be gone. Loan me, I can be made a fool of. You can ignore me, so it requires you to trust more. So when you think about our 20 zip codes, what's better, getting donations from everyone in the zip code or getting loans from everyone in the zip code? Think about what I just said. You developing stronger trust. Neighborhoods with stronger trust are safer neighborhoods. So going after the loan, the donation comes at the end of the loan, so we still getting the unrestricted funds. But the point is that having that loan conversation allows them, the people, to decide they want to trust you or not at a different level. So the beauty with altering Black society in increments of $5,000, uh, we normally raise about 5 grand in donations every year, uh, but for the most part, with the loan program, that allows us to borrow $10,000 plus our $5,000 that we get in unrestricted money. Now we operated the 15,000 we needed for each year. That's been the benefit of having a loan team. So kudos to all you guys and gals that do the loans. We need that since I'm no longer financing it. So we have, for the people who don't know, we have 50 people who loan us $100 for 30 days, 1 month. And so these are the pictures of those people, 50 people who did it without one meeting, no meeting, all phone calls. That's a next level of trust. So that shows you the people who trust us, and that's a big deal. We are 5 people away from having our second group of 50 people trusting us with the 30-day $100 loan. This is 95 people who did it already. That's 9,500. That is phenomenal. Took us 4 years to get get there, but we're getting there. And so that's this group. So in every city we go to, we need to establish this internal financing, which in this case is 50 people trusting us with a 30-day loan, interest free. And then this here. So this here is done electronically, all right? Or they might mail it in. A few of our elders mailed it in, but there's no physical meeting. There's no physical for this. This group here is the physical. This here are 35 businesses that we're asking these businesses to do 12 people's $12. That's how we came up with the number 144. And 35 of them doing that is the 5,000. Just like the 50 people doing 100 is 5,000. The reason 5,000 matters because we're altering Black society in increments of 5,000. So think about that. Here we are. $5,000 in donation, that helps. $5,000 from the businesses, that helps. $5,000 from the $100 loan people. So we're able to have a diversified portfolio of income coming in from multiple angles, and we're building trust along the way. That is huge. That is huge. We live and operate off of $1 a month, which is $12 a year. That doesn't go away. The problem is it takes about 3 months to collect $12 from a new person we meet. So in the interim of those 3 months, it costs to operate. We got to pay for the Zoom, we got to pay for the website, we got to pay for the storage, we got to pay for our staff people, we got to pay for printing. Like it costs to operate. So if we're waiting 3 months to get $12 from one person, and then we get the 12, we probably need 10 people as 12 to be able to just do the cable, do the Zoom and website and printing. So my point is, without the loaners, higher dollar loaners, we would fold. We wouldn't be around to be where we are now. And then the last part here under our own financing is loose change for global change. This is pennies to Africa, 100 pennies going to Africa. This is 20 nickels, which is $1 going to Mississippi, the blackest state in the union. This is 10 dimes going to support your sister city. That's where these other seven regions are, and the 20 cities underneath them. Your dimes, 10 dimes, go to that sister city. Why does that matter? Because remember what I shared with you, the next 50 years is all about travel. So as we invest money into Cleveland, Detroit, St. Louis, when you get there traveling, you're going to have stronger relationships because of the 10 dimes going to sister city. So it makes it where now you got 20 cities around the country that they'll love to see you coming because they see money coming because of the 10 dimes to sister city idea. Then the last one is the 20 nickels to Mississippi, blackest state in the union. We want to invest there. We want to heavily invest there. All right. So this is deep. This was helpful for me. Hopefully, this helped you as well. What I'm gonna do. This is what we talked about. I didn't show that to you, but these are the 6 challenges and 6 remedies for our Black society. ISC is isolation, starvation, exploitation. That these are external problems. Our response to that is HSN, habit, schedule, network. Just went over that. The internal problems is HAB, hurt, abuse, and bitterness. Our response to that is information, travel, and real estate. We're going to have people traveling and getting away, and that's going to be very therapeutic for them. So that's it, you guys. That concludes this video. Thank you for watching. My number is 312-405-8844. That's 312-405-8844. The next video or the next couple of videos, I want to be able to articulate to you guys how long this would take. I did share with you that it took about 4 years to get those 95 people to do the $100 loan, and we got probably 15 people on the business side. We need 35, so we still need 20 more. It's taking time because of the economy, COVID, and all that stuff. But if you're in position to take the risk and trust us with the $100 loan, we're doing a $50 loan for 20 people that can do 50. We're doing the 144 if you're a business person. The point is this, or if you're just a regular citizen that just want to do your $12 and be done with it, perfectly fine. That's beautiful. The point is, if I did this video and it doesn't move you at all, then I got to do a better job, because the purpose, the objective is for the videos to move you and say, you know what, this is too good. I'm going to release my money and get on the team, get this money rotating. And this is the last video that I'm going to need to really figure out how to do it. The next video, which should be the last one of this series, so I can show you guys when we start to see change. When will we see change based on this, having all this stuff understood and ready? When will we start to see the change in our neighborhoods? So I'm working on that mentally. Once I get that, I'm gonna type it up and I'm gonna get that to you guys, because I do think when people see how quickly this whole thing can take off, I think people gonna be running to get their 5,000 in. And once we got that five, we immediately put those 3 people to work. We go out to the next five, put 3 more people to work in Gary, then in Atlanta, then in 3 people going to work everywhere. This is gonna be powerful. So I thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna stop recording.